Good morning. Today is Tuesday, April the 7th, and today we're doing a place. We're going to be doing a perspective drawing using 2-point perspective. We're going to start first with creating an imaginary kind of horizon line, which we're going to put right here. Now, a horizon line is just a tool that we're going to use. We're not even going to have it. You're not even really going to see it. But we're going to use this line here to create an imaginary horizon line, which we're going to use to pinpoint our middle points for a lot of our structures that we're going to be creating today. And we're going to be doing a newspaper stand, a vintage newspaper stand from probably, I believe, the early 1900s, okay? So on this horizon line, this imaginary horizon line, we're going to be placing two vanishing points, one on the right and one on the left. If you have taken my class, you've probably learned this technique from me. It is a kind of a time-honored traditional thing that I was taught many, many, many years ago. All you're going to need for today is a drawing pencil. This is again, my trusty general drawing pencil, a Kimberly 4B. All right, and you're going to need an eraser. I'm using a Office Depot pink eraser, a Pentel plastic eraser, and my trusty Snoopy Doghouse pencil sharpener. Okay, so the next thing that we're going to do after we have our horizon line and our two vanishing points is we're going to figure out where we're going to have our first corner line. Now, this is a very easy way to create depth on the page, three-dimensional depth on the page on a two-dimensional surface. And using the two vanishing points, we did 1-point perspective last week where we did a narrow Japanese alleyway in Tokyo. We're going to be using 2-point perspective, and that means that we're going to have angles, our horizontal lines and stuff are going to be generated by these two vanishing points. Okay, so our verticals are going to remain up, straight up and down, but our horizontal lines are all going to be generated from either the left or the right hand vanishing point. And for wherever we make that middle corner line, that's going to determine, if it's coming from the left of that first middle line, those angles are going to come from the left. If they're to the right, they're going to come from the right. All right? So I want to place my newspaper stand not quite in the middle here, a little off from there. So this vertical is going to be, and I'm not using a ruler, I'm just kind of sketching this out. This is going to be my middle line. It's not quite the middle, but it's going to be where I'm going to be placing the first corner of my newspaper stand. Okay. Now, I also want to figure out how tall do I want to make my newspaper stand. Well, I'm going to try and put it right here. So I want the bottom of my newspaper stand to be here, and possibly the top be somewhere up there. Okay. And we're going to make this kind of a narrow, yeah. So again, these are coming from that vanishing point on the right, okay, and this vanishing point on the right here. Again, we're going to do the bottom of our newspaper stand, and then the top, all coming from this vanishing point here on the right. Same thing over here. We're going to match these and bisect these as best we can, just like that. Okay. And again, I'm not using a ruler, I'm just sketching this out, using a distant grip. So right now it looks kind of like a sideways or really wide kite, right? Okay. So these are going to be the guidelines for my newspaper stand. And I'm going to make it so that it's a little bit more forced perspective, meaning that the angle of the shot's almost like a fisheye lens in a lot of senses. So right now it just looks like a kite. This is my middle line here. Okay. And right now I'm building the right-hand side or left-facing side of the newspaper stand. Excuse me, the right-facing side of the newspaper stand, and this will be the left-facing side. And the left-facing side is going to be narrower, okay? So I'm going to make this side narrower than the right-hand side, all right? So again, I'm using a distant grip on my pencil, okay? And I'm just creating now my newspaper stand. Now, to help you guys see this a little bit better, I'm going to use my pen tool eraser here and erase that mark, and erase these marks here. Alright, and then get rid of this horizon line. We don't need that really anymore. So can you kind of see the structure now? We have the left facing side, the right facing side of our newspaper stand. Okay, good morning y'all. Thank you for coming in. Alright, now, so we have our newspaper stand here. It's kind of in forced perspective, right? Next thing that we're going to do is figure out how big the opening is going to be for, you know, where our newspaper stand seller is going to be and where customers come in to kind of pick up their newspapers, their candies, their magazines, etc. All right. So again, coming back to this right-hand vanishing point, we're going to come across. We're not going to go straight across. We want to go at a little bit of an angle. So this is going to be the opening, little kiosk window. All right. We're going to come across here. Okay, so this is going to be the opening of the newspaper stand. And we're going to narrow it off. Okay, can you guys see that? So this is going to be where the newspaper seller is going to be talking and hawking his wares. Okay, which is information. All right. So this is going to be the door, or the opening where the newspaper seller can hawk his wares. We're going to put, the door is going to be behind, we're not going to see that, okay? Alright, now the next thing that we're going to do is we're going to create a little shelf here, a little shelf where all the newspapers and stuff are kind of stacked up, okay? So the next thing that we're going to do is we're going to come from the left-hand vanishing point and come all the way across here and hit here, because we kind of want it level with that. Okay, see that? We're bisecting, these are all lines, for all you calculus folks, art and math do kind of meet, where these two bisect, and we're going to do the same thing. This is going to create the angle for the top of our counter. We're going to come across here, and we're going to bisect right there. And I'm doing it, I know, if you have a ruler at home, cool. If you don't, find a straight edge of some sort. So that is the angle we're coming from. We've bisected that. Now the next thing after that is we're going to now, because now we're working on the right hand side of this first line, we're going to come across here to the right vanishing point and pull down to create the other angle for our countertop. See that? Alright. And again, because our verticals are straight up and down, we're just going to pull some lines down here, just like so. Just like that. Okay. This is going to be where our little seller is going to be selling his wares. And we're going to make this kind of 3D just by pulling another line down. Boom. Okay. Continue this line right to this level here, because that's the edge of our newspaper stand. And we're going to pull a line down this way too. Alright. I'm going to start connecting all these lines. Okay. Alright. Now, same thing over here. Okay. All right. Now, the next thing after this in creating our newspaper stand is we need to start adding some newspapers. And we're going to do that in a minute. Just going to start filling this out a little bit more. As you can see, I'm building dimensionality just by doing this. Alright, so we now have our countertop. For where our newspaper seller is going to be selling his wares. Hey, Ryan. Alright. I hope you guys are all staying safe and staying at home during this crazy time. Alright. Now, the next thing we're going to do is kind of create an awning, okay? Awnings, for all intents and purposes, I'm going to pull an angle from here and here, straight down. And I'm going to tie these together with that vanishing point from the right. So that line tells me I got to draw this line a little bit further. Okay, so that's the top of our awning. We're going to make these angles progressively narrower as we go down. Okay, and we're going to finish it off with an angle coming from here. Okay, same thing over here. A lot of lines, Okay. Alright. That's so our newspaper seller doesn't get wet during the day. Alright. We're going to do one more line here. Put this in shadow. Alright. Cool. Now when I think of usually a newspaper stand, I also think of a lot of clutter. And we're going to clutter this up. Once we get kind of some of these angles kind of cleaned up a little bit. Alright. We're putting a shelf down here. Boom. Okay. Our shelf. Newspaper man inside here. Boom. And clean this up a little bit. We're also going to put over here, as if this is a platform, right behind this sucker. We're going to put a street light. An old school street light. Okay, just like so. Maybe we're gonna open this up. And again, our verticals are straight up and down. And just like so. Adding these details helps. Okay, so next thing we're going to do, add some details here. To the architecture itself. Okay. And then on the back side here, we're going to make a staircase going down, down, down to the subway. And unfortunately, you're not going to be able to see where that goes. But see, these angles need to come from over here. So we're going to angle this. Yeah. So that angle is going to be the bottom of our staircase going down. Okay. Some brickwork going down, 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 down. Okay. Going down to the subway. All right. Okay. There we go. So, we're going to spend a little time getting rid of a lot of these angles, because I'm sure some of you who are viewing this right now are getting a little confused, getting a little crowded. When I'm doing this in my classroom, kids are like, oh my god, there's so many lines. This looks really hard. And can be pretty intimidating at first glance, but especially if students did not take the precursory first perspective, or 1 point perspective, it can be a little hard. All right, so we have a bunch of information here already, but we have our newspaper stand here. We have an open kiosk. We're going to put a person in here who's just kind of chilling out. Selling his wares as best he can. Right? Okay. We're going to put stacks of newspapers here. We're also going to put some other information here too as well. Again, our vanishing point is here. Maybe we'll have people walking this way. I'm going to use these as guidelines for that. Alright. Now, let's put some newspapers in here, yeah? Stacks of newspapers. Again, we're using these guidelines and create these stacks with the angles. Newspapers. And I'm creating that illusion by referring to those angles still. You guys see that? Gonna put some print on there. Yeah, there you go. And I'm using light and shadow to create that illusion. Alright. Put some more stacks here. We got angles already. just like that. And I'm using pressure, variances in pressure, to create a lot of the values that I'm doing right now. Alright. I'll start putting in some shadows here. Alright. Okay. So as you're going through this, we're going to add some more newspapers kind of strewn across here at an angle. Because a lot of newspapers will be clipped up like this. Okay. And here. Alright. Got a lot going on. Shadows would be underneath too as well. Alright. Let's also give a little distress on the edges here. It's been a well-loved newsstand by locals, right? All right, we're gonna put some hanging newspapers up here, and they're kind of haphazard stuff going on. Periodicals of sorts, right? We're gonna have a magazine rack on this side, so we're gonna spread these out. Okay. This is gonna be a straight up rack. Alright. Magazine rack on this side. Okay. Cool. And so these are going to be marker lines for where magazines have been kind of shoved in here at an angle. And they're going to get progressively bigger as we get closer to that middle line. Does that make sense? Okay. A little shadow on the side. Give it dimensionality. And I'm going, faster than I normally would if I was doing this as a drawing from myself. But this is to give you guys kind of a tutorial as to how to create this for yourselves later. Alright, now, kind of the gist of our magazine stand. Maybe we'll also put some buildings in the background. Right. Maybe it's at a busy intersection. Right. Switching pencils. Okay. And then maybe he has like some displays of other things over here too as well. Alright. And these are just going to be illusions of print, things like that, haphazard random stuff. Okay. And again, this is all just showing you guys how to create the illusion of depth on a two-dimensional surface. Okay. Go through, erase a lot of these guidelines. Okay. Okay. We'll make a sign over here. Okay. And when you're doing text, you want to stay with the angle that you're traveling with. Your verticals are going to be straight up and down, though. Okay. I'm just going to use kind of a name of one of my students. Or former student. This would be so much easier in Photoshop. Oliver's News Company. Okay. We're going to use kind of a two-tone here for our canopy. Yeah, look at that. Cool deal. like an Oliver haircut too. Dude had a lot of hair. Dude has a lot of hair. What am I saying? Put him in shadow. Okay. So now we have a lot of our information done of what we want to include. We're going to darken this street light over here. Okay. Maybe put a tree over here. A bench in the distance. Yeah. Okay. It's surrounded by some grading to protect the tree. Right. Now I'm using a lot of pressure, and keeping it kind of sketchy and loose. I'm just using scribbling. There we go. Cool stuff. Yeah. Put some trees in the back over here, in the distance. Same kind of deal. Loose. Okay. Sidewalk angles we got already. Okay. Over here as well. Now we're gonna do some shading in the background here. To show our buildings being in the distance. Okay. We're also going to put some shadow behind the proprietor of this newsstand. Yes. Okay. I'm not using quite a distance grip or a close grip. I'm kind of in the middle. Because I want to add some pressure for shading, but not too much. Okay. Okay. Got some buildings in the background here. Trees. And again, I'm just blending these values. I'm going quickly, not too much pressure. I'm building up the values slowly. Okay. I'll make this building a little bit darker because it's kind of silhouetted. This is going to be our light source over here. Clean this up. And again, if you missed the beginning of this tutorial, you can always catch up with what you missed on my YouTube channel, which is linked in my bio on my Instagram page. Okay. Just imagine this is another building with some, and we're going to put in some architectural features just kind of fuzzed out. Can you guys see the angles of those windows? A few more over here. You guys see that? Okay. Keep these pretty indistinct over here. Cool. Alright. Now, let's just spend a little bit more time kind of cleaning up this area over here. Grab another pencil. Hey Lauren, how you doing, girl? Put all this kind of in a darker shadow on the left-hand side. Now I was doing kind of horizontal. Now I'm going to go more angled. And also a little bit tighter there. Yeah, there we go. Fade those out a little bit. There we go. Add some darker shadows there. There we go. Closer on that side. And I'm using a distant grip now. Okay. Maybe I'll add some pigeons on this side. AKA sky rats. And kind of cruising along here. There we go. That's better. All right. Street lamp. Boom. Maybe another one this way. Okay. Maybe another building back here. Nondescript. Okay. And we're building a little block here, yeah? Maybe we'll put a little thing right there. Yeah. Okay. Okay. We are cruising along. We're building quite a little city here. Keeping it a mixture of both man-made, some natural elements like these trees, dirty little sky rats, etc. Okay, guys. We're nearing the very end of this drawing project. I don't want to extend it too far because then I'll overwork this bad boy. But tomorrow on the schedule, because it's hump day, we're going to be doing a dragon drawing. I'm going to be doing dragons from different cultures. Because it's just fun. Mostly. Again, if you want to revisit what we did today, you can go to my YouTube channel. Link is in my bio. Please subscribe. If you have any questions on anything that I've done today or have done, please don't hesitate to reach out, DM me, message me, and let me know if you have any questions, okay? Go through and put in some highlights here. Oh, the problems with erasers. Sometimes they cooperate, sometimes they don't. Sometimes they make more of a mess than you intended. Alright. Well, thank you very much for joining me today on Tuesday the 7th. See you guys tomorrow at 11 o'clock again. And stay home, stay safe, have a wonderful day. See you tomorrow.